Hello, this is Ash from Marine Arena, and wanted to put together a video of some of the new features that are coming up for the next patch that should probably come out on Friday or Saturday, possibly the latest. So I'm going to be working on some of the extra features for this one, and then we got OTM and Josen who are going to be working on the balance side of things. We're going to bundle it up into one big patch and unleash it on everyone on Battle.net. So here's some of the new things that I've added to it. One of the things we've done is we've taken the heroes Tassadar and Zeratul and made it to where they no longer need each other to be able to merge into an Archon. Instead, what's going to happen is they're each going to have their own version of the Archon. So we can kind of see that here. I'm going to make it now and cheat a little bit to get him out there. There's Zeratul and Tassadar. Some of them up there to get their upgrades. Okay, so when you take a look at them, you'll notice that currently they're not lit up, but they've each got their own little Archon warps. We're going to show you the Dark Archon first. Just got to buy me upgrades here.
Mutation complete. Metamorphosis complete.
Okay. So here's what we're going to do. Here's the Dark Templar up first. You'll see that right away he's got his instant blink because he's level 7, and that's what he does at level 7 is he's got his blink and his Void Prison. What we're going to do is now start getting him morphed to his Dark Archon form. And you'll notice there's going to be a new little graphic for this. I'm kind of proud of this one. There he is. You're going to be really silly if you can't see your opponents warping him in when he looks like this now. So there he is. Looks a little bit different from before. Now he's dark purple like Zeratul is. Well, kinda. Anyway, so here's what he is, and you'll notice that he's actually retained some of the abilities from the Dark Templar form. He can blink now. I didn't give him his maximum blink level because being able to instantly blink with this Archon would probably be a little bit ridiculous. So he's essentially a Dark Templar at level 4 in terms of his abilities, but now he's got the ability to wipe out a crap load of enemies at the same time. Just kind of watch how he does this. So, here's a little army of Zealots. Here's him. First he Void Prisons him, no problem. Uh-oh, he's surrounded. What's he gonna do? Oh, I don't know, maybe blink out of it? That'll work just fine. Keep working his way out. Now before, a surround might have been a problem for him, but between Void Prison and his ability to blink in and out of combat, he's now going to be a lot harder to pull down. And the reason for that is because even though the Archon was always pretty neat, a lot of people have learned to take him down really easily between using heroes that are designed to take down big heroes like this, using the Corruptor to corrupt him. He still has his super fast shield regeneration by default, but his health has been lowered to kind of compensate for that. So then we've got the new regular Archon. And this one I really like. You'll notice that he's a tiny bit smaller than a normal Archon, just kind of like how in High Templar might be a little bit smaller than a Dark Templar. But he's got some new tricks too. You'll notice that he's now able to place a force field just like the High Templar could, so you're not giving that up by morphing him through it. He can hide inside of them too if he needs to. Even though he's got his attack now, he'll probably lose his regular attack by the time we get it published, just because these new tricks are going to make him pretty lethal, and we don't want to mislead anyone into thinking that he's supposed to go in and start dishing damage. He's not. He's going to stay back. He's going to put up his force fields, his Psionic Storm. He's going to be able to leech energy from these guys now. But the biggest one that I'm really proud of is his new ability, Mind Control. This is a new ability that was made nearly from scratch. So let's say we take an army of Zealots, put them right there. Now what happens when you are not paying attention and an Archon comes up? Here's what happens. It's going to last for 15 seconds. you're going to notice when your units are being mind controlled. Once it's done, they just go back to normal. This affects all units except for heroes and structures, so you don't have to worry about them taking over your structures or heroes that you've put a lot of money into. But you'd better be careful if he comes near your army with one of these things. The missile goes pretty slow, so you may be able to dodge it if you need to. So other than that, we have a new medevac also. Now there's a purchase limit of 1. It's been buffed up pretty well so that that 1 is going to last. The idea here is that you used to be able to buy like a dozen medevacs, and that was nice, but, you know, there was no point in having that many because they could barely do much healing even as a group, and there was no incentive for the enemy to actually go after them, just because there was too many and they weren't doing that much. So now they're a little bit buffed, they heal a little bit faster, but the biggest change is that now they're going to be able to heal in a radius instead of just one target at a time. So what happens is you get him here.
Heading out. Acknowledged. In the pipe, 5x5.
There we go. Now suddenly healing into a radius instead of just one unit at a time.
Go.
So this should make having at least one in your army work really well for getting you healed up after a fight. On top of that, this healing ability has been added onto the support structure and the center beacon, so all of them are going to benefit from an AoE style of heal instead of just one unit at a time.
Confirmed.
That's about it for the major changes. There are some littler ones. The Smashinator truck now is going to move a little bit faster and have a little more health just because the last nerf that brought him down to where he's only killing units in front of him didn't make him much of a killing force, not for 500 minerals anyway. We're going to make him a tiny bit smaller just so he can fit himself up these ramps here. And lastly, the Reaper's getting a little bit of a damage buff just because you used to be able to get a whole bunch of them and now you can only have one at a time, so his damage was pretty meager. And if you haven't seen it yet, he's got his new ability called the Flashbang Grenade, and it's fantastic. Just toss one on a bad guy here. The range has been reduced by 1, which isn't going to be too helpful for melee, but the range is also decreased by 1. It used to be a 1.5, but it was a little too strong. It does affect air units, so you can see kind of the difference it makes if we take a group of Mutalisks and fire the grenade on them. You'll see that suddenly they've got to get a lot closer if they want to initiate combat. A lot closer than they had to before. It's not going to win a game all on its own, but if you use that in combination with the tactics you're already using, you're probably going to wipe them out. Anyway, if you have questions, just head over to the forums at marinearena.info. Thanks.